Backstage, the show where we sit down with local artists and international artists and find out what's going on in their lives and in their careers. On Channel 82, where Bermuda shines through.
Hi, I'm Mr. Magic, and welcome to another edition of Backstage. This is season 3, you all. And in this season, we have a lady that's come all the way from Jamaica to come to Bermuda to perform. But while she's here, she's sitting with us in Backstage to tell us about her life and her career. Please welcome to Backstage, Miss Tanya Stevens. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
Now, I'm glad you take the time out of your day to come by and sit with us. We're here in Marcus's restaurant in the Hamilton Princess.
Which I like to think of as my dining room.
This is your dining room. Like I said earlier, I love your artwork. And really, Andy Warhol, you know, gotta have it. Of course, we've got Bob Marley on the other side. But you're here in Bermuda to perform. And we're welcoming you here, and we're glad you are here. But let's talk about you, Tanya, the person. Forget being the artist. First of all, give us a history. Where were you born? Where were you brought up?
Well, I was born on the north coast of Jamaica. Well, a little bit in from the north coast. I was born in the parish of St. Mary. Small town called Richmond. I'm the 6th of 7 children. One of 4 girls and 3 boys. And I have a very basic Jamaican country life.
Oh, so you actually lived the country life, you know,
Yeah.
you had the goats and
No,
all that?
I didn't, well,
not that type
all
of country?
The way,
Oh, okay.
not all the way up in the country life.
Oh, okay, not in the hills, okay.
I didn't have any goats, thankfully.
But I'm sure you had a Corey goat here and there.
But the goats are right there.
Yeah.
They just weren't ours.
They weren't yours, okay. So you grew up in a relatively large family. Are you the
Yes.
youngest? Are you the middle child? You're
I was the 6th of 7.
6 of 7?
Yeah, so
Okay.
by the time I came along, I had to be a little bit stronger because there was more competition for everything.
Right.
You know, which made me, you know, this tough person that I am.
I'm
So
sure.
It became a blessing.
Yes, it would be a blessing. So was your family musical growing up? I mean, your parents played, you know, singing or whatever?
Well, I'm from a single parent home. My mother didn't play any music, didn't really sing or anything like that, but we had a lot of music in the house.
Yes.
She had a vinyl collection, contained a lot of calypso and the early kind of ska and mentor type Jamaican songs, early roots. I grew up listening to Lord Kitchener and Sparrow.
Yes.
Some of my favorites.
Well, see, you're giving away your mother's age.
Oh, but her age is obvious if you see her, but you know, it actually helped to broaden my scope.
Yes.
You know, because I was brought up on so many different eras. You know, my eldest sister could have been my mother. And so I had my mother's era, my elder siblings' era, I had mine.
Yes.
You know, and I think that makes for a colorful person.
Yeah, because that's eclectic, you know, having all that music around you. Now, also knowing that country was very prevalent in Jamaica.
Of course.
You know, and a lot of people really didn't realize that. They thought it was just all reggae, but you know, you had Johnny Cash and Merle Haggard and all those.
Well, I grew up thinking it was just Sunday music.
Okay.
You know, throw in some Engelbert Humperdinck and that's Sunday, Patty Page, and the country stuff. I really, really love Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers. Kenny Rogers is hugest anywhere in the world in Jamaica, I think. I mean, he's huge everywhere, but Jamaica, we love him. You know, and I think that helped a lot to develop my character too, because I'm really into the writing of music. And country, calypso, they're both known most for their storytelling, you know, and the double entendres and stuff. So yeah, that's my background, and I'm very proud of it.
Yeah. So in your writing, you tell stories as well. I mean, would you say that there is certain music that you've written that really resonates your life?
I can't pick any one thing. Everything does. You know, it depends on the kind of mood or the experience that I'm going through at the moment. The songs, they kind of serve as therapy, and the audiences that I've experienced, they're my therapists. We kind of give each other, you know, that support that we need, and so I don't have any one thing that I can point to and say it's like picking a favorite of several children.
Yes, and you can't do that.
I can't. No, you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, understood. Because there is one song that is very popular in Bermuda, and it's a pity. You know, see, you're smiling already. You know, see, obviously the question is, I mean, what was the story behind that?
Well, it's to me, it's a very common story in most people's lives. You know, we're raised up on the premise that you're supposed to grow up, get a good job, find somebody to settle down with, and have preferably 2 kids, a boy and a girl, for balance.
Yes.
But life doesn't work like that. Sometimes you do what you think is the right thing, and then sometimes later you run into the person that's really your soulmate when you've already tied that knot. And so I encourage people to experience life, discover themselves first before doing anything permanent. You know, but if you didn't, then it's a pity becomes your story.
Yes.
Whether you're playing to it or not, you know, the longing, it's human.
Yes, it is. And now I got a clearer understanding, you know, because, you know, you listen to the lyrics of that song, you know, you're wondering like, wait a minute, is she cheating on her husband? Or, you know, what's going on?
I kind of left that up in the air.
Oh, and it does. And that's what happens because people get to create their own opinion, you know, about that. So if it fits me one way, it will suit you another way.
I have no judgment.
Right. So
it's not my business.
It is what it is. Okay. Well, thank you for clearing that up. You all got that now, right? So don't blame her. It's up to you.
It's none of my business.
None of exactly. And I'm so glad though that you're able to write from the heart. You know, because I've spoken to other people, and tragedy seems to generate their writing. You know, for some people, you know, like they're maybe talking about country songs. You know, you hear the lyrics like, "Oh, my wife ran away. My dog is missing. Please bring my dog back."
All the country wives run away.
You know, now I mean, and growing up in such a colorful country as Jamaica and as large as it is, I'm sure there were influences all around, especially growing up in the era of Bob Marley.
Yeah.
And was he one of those influences in your life?
Interesting, because you know, when I was much younger. Bob Marley was kind of taboo in the typical Jamaican household.
Wow.
That king was first crowned outside of Jamaica. Okay. I remember being in my grandparents' house, and Bob Marley's kind of music and the Rastafarian movement was considered boogie aga. It was considered terms like dirty Rasta kind of preceded their names. So we weren't allowed to listen to Bob Marley.
Wow.
It's very ironic to me because now he's the icon of the tourist board of Jamaica. So it's a good turnaround.
Yes.
But unfortunately, he wasn't really a part of my growing up.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. So when did you first start? When would you say you sang your first note?
Oh wow, I have no idea. I started out writing. Okay. I'm a literature student. I push literature. I really love language and literature, but I believe literature should be the base of everybody's lives. Okay. It's how you tell your story. You know, and so first I wrote poems and short stories, and then the stories and the poems kind of melded into one another and became songs, and I sang them just for lack of somebody else to sing them.
Oh, okay. All right, it makes sense. And on that note, we'll be back after this, more with Tanya Stevens. I want to talk to you about your first concert. I've heard stories. I'm going to come to the source and get the answers. Okay? We'll be back right after this from our sponsors. We'll be back with Tanya Stevens. Talk to you in a minute.